The iPhone 12 Pro Max camera is one of the best you can get on a phone, but now a new phone with a camera bearing the iconic name Hasselblad is here to challenge it. This is the OnePlus 9 Pro and it comes with all new cameras with special colors tuned by Hasselblad, and I have been using the two side by side to see if the OnePlus can match the quality of the iPhone. Hello guys, Vic here with PhoneArena, and let's start this off with a quick look at the cameras these two are equipped with. So both come with three actually useful cameras on the back and one kind of useless sensor on both. So the OnePlus uses a brand new Sony sensor for the main camera with 48 megapixel resolution versus a 12 megapixel one on the iPhone. Then you have an ultra-wide camera on both. Again, the OnePlus uses a nearly 3 times larger sensor, which is a theoretical advantage. And finally, you also have a telephoto zoom lens, which is a bit longer on the OnePlus than on the iPhone. Okay, and what you're seeing right now is a video recording with the front camera on the OnePlus 9 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And immediately you can see some differences, the major one being just the difference in view. Right here in my viewfinder, I can clearly see that the iPhone has the wider picture, so you get a lot more in the frame of my environment, while the OnePlus has that tighter view. But also the OnePlus appears smoother, at least on the screen right now. And in terms of colors, you can definitely see some differences as well. Let me know which one you prefer. So the iPhone can also shoot 4K with the front camera, while the OnePlus is limited to 1080p. But I really don't think you should care about this too much. Right now I'm recording on 1080p on both phones. And next up, let's jump into some selfies. And have you noticed that sometimes you get these weird orange skin colors in selfies from the iPhone? It's not the case every time, but it's super annoying when it happens, so I do prefer colors on the OnePlus here, where you don't have that issue. But you also don't have a wide selfie mode on the OnePlus, and you do on the iPhone, and that is a super useful feature if you're trying to take a picture of yourself and a group of friends, or for video calls. And here's a selfie in low light. Now honestly, selfies turn out pretty bad on both of them, but the iPhone has a bit more detail here. Okay, selfies are fun and everything, but the real power of these phones is in the cameras that are on the back. So let's kick this off with a couple of photos. Just look at them and try to guess which one you like better. A is on the left, B is on the right. What do you think? Okay, let's reveal them, and A in this case is the OnePlus, while B is the iPhone. And you probably noticed how A actually has the wider lens, so that gives it a slightly different look. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to our channel. We have more OnePlus content on the way. So during the day, both phones look great, and the differences are kind of subtle. And mostly it boils down to the colors. And the OnePlus captures overall more neutral, toned down colors, except for the blue color of the skies that is so inky on the OnePlus. But for all else, it's the iPhone that has these more vibrant colors. Notice here the greens just pop more, and also the yellows on this next photo are much more vibrant. Plus there is so much contrast on the iPhone. Actually, I think the contrast on the iPhone can be a bit extreme, so sometimes you even lose details in the shadowy areas of photos, like the one here. So which approach do you prefer? The more neutral colors from the OnePlus or the more vivid and contrasty ones from the iPhone? So for all else in terms of detail, both phones do a great job, looking sharp but not too sharp. So take a look at a close-up of a few photos. The amount of detail is really excellent on both. So neither of these phones has the crazy zoom camera of the Galaxy S21 Ultra, but let's see if they are at least, well, decent for zooming. Here are a few shots. So at about 3 times zoom, both are similarly sharp, and actually the iPhone looks a bit better. But if you zoom in 10 times, you notice how you get much better detail on the OnePlus. And actually the maximum zoom level on the iPhone is only 12 times zoom for photos, while the OnePlus can go up to 30 times. And sure, the camera gets super shaky when you shoot at that distance and it's hard to capture a decent photo, but you have that option. So for long range zoom, the OnePlus wins it. I should also say that you can capture portrait mode photos on both, which I personally use a ton, and portraits can be wide or you can take a zoomed in portrait. The iPhone actually uses the 2.5 times zoom camera, so it gets a bit closer up. But of course, what is funny here is just how hilariously wrong the OnePlus got this photo, blurring my jacket and jeans, but instead weirdly focusing on the tree branches on the top of my head. Well, the iPhone got it mostly right. You can also capture a wide portrait on both, and again, the OnePlus just cut a part of my head and kind of ruined this photo. Now, OnePlus pushed a last-minute update, so we did not get a chance to capture many portraits, and that's certainly not something that will happen often, but it nonetheless shows that portrait mode is generally a bit more reliable on the iPhone. In low light, however, using portrait mode with that zoom camera on the iPhone results in darker shots, and here are a couple of other portrait photos that we have. Okay, and speaking about low light, let's switch to that, and immediately you can see that the iPhone with the main camera captures a lot more light. But honestly, I'm not sure I like the iPhone photo better. That is almost too much light and makes the photo almost feel like it was taken during the day, don't you think? While you still have super clean detail on the OnePlus, but it also retains the dark color of the sky for a more authentic nighttime look. And here's one more similar photo. Once again, the iPhone is brighter, but I think the OnePlus is the one I would personally go for. And this is generally what you have with all nighttime photos. Pictures out of the OnePlus are consistently darker, with a more real night feel, while the iPhone captures these brighter shots that might look good, but if you think about it, they are a bit fake. So let's zoom in right here and notice how detail on the OnePlus is also much cleaner and sharper in low light. And this next picture shows something very common with iPhones, and that is an issue with color or white balance. This building is definitely white, but it appears yellowish to greenish on the iPhone, which has gotten the white balance so wrong. And here's one more shot. Here everything just looks orange on the iPhone. Okay, that's the main camera, but you also have an ultra-wide camera, and OnePlus really teased the hell out of this one, saying it's the best ever in the phone. So let's see if that's true. So once again, let's do this. Take a look at a couple of photos. Which one do you like better, A or B? Well, this time B is the OnePlus, and this camera really looks pretty good. It's not quite as wide as on the iPhone, but it is especially impressive in low light, where it captures great looking shots with a lot of detail and color. During the day, the difference is not that huge between the two, and both are among the best ultra-wide cameras ever used on a phone. But my favorite feature on the 9 Pro has got to be macro photos. See, the 9 Pro allows you to focus from a distance of just about an inch, inch and a half, much closer than on most other phones. And you can easily capture a picture of a human eye or some super cool macro shots of flowers or other everyday objects in detail unlike any other phone. And yes, since macro mode just uses the ultra-wide camera, you can also capture macro videos that look equally impressive as this flower here. And since we have already started talking about video, here's how it looks during the day. So this is how video looks with the main cameras on both phones. This is the view you're getting. And right here on my viewfinder I can immediately see that the skies appear nice and blue on the iPhone, just as they do in real life, while the OnePlus is just now starting to show that blue a bit. The overall colors appear a bit washed out, at least on my screen right now, but you have to see on your screens what you're seeing after the processing is done. And I'm just holding both phones in my hands so you get a good idea of what video stabilization looks like on both. Looks pretty steady. Of course, you can also switch to the ultra-wide cameras while recording video. And I notice colors on the OnePlus changing a bit. They stay a bit more consistent on the iPhone. And we're shooting a bit against the sun, so that's definitely a challenging situation. And right now we're recording with the ultra-wide cameras on both phones. One thing I do notice is that the OnePlus does look more stable, while the iPhone footage looks just a bit jittery. Then of course you can also zoom in. Now let's switch to the main camera. I'll zoom in. 2 times zoom on the OnePlus, 2.5 times zoom on the iPhone. And here is how it looks in low light at night. And now we're looking at a nighttime video recording with the OnePlus 9 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Do you see any differences? Let's move faster. Here in the dynamic range you can definitely see the trash bin was a bit blown out. Oh, the iPhone keeps up that dynamic range a bit better. Next up, here's a quick video from the studio. Now, this is a bit extreme, but notice if we pause the video here, how the edge of the pillow and the side of my face are burned out on the OnePlus, while the iPhone maintains good dynamic range. So far the iPhone looks better and scores a point. So let's keep on going and pause right here. Here's a frame of the low light part of the clip, and on this one, I actually prefer the more vibrant colors on the OnePlus, but it also has the more aggressive noise reduction, so you get those ghosting artifacts. So the iPhone again appears to have slightly better detail overall. Finally, let's also pause here and take a look at the ultra-wide camera. First, notice how much wider the ultra-wide camera on the iPhone is for video, but overall I think that the OnePlus looks a bit better here. Okay, these are the main features, but you also have a few fun new gimmicks on the OnePlus, like 4K 120 video mode for high quality slow motion. You also have a tilt shift mode, which gives you these miniature world photos that also look super awesome. And finally, you also get a monochrome sensor on the OnePlus, which is so important that OnePlus has hidden it as the last filter in the camera app. Seriously. You could probably get similar results with just using a regular black and white filter, but OnePlus says this one has better detail. And here are a few examples. Also, you can do a time-lapse video even while walking, and this is seriously cool, just like a GoPro. And I also love the portrait video effect on the OnePlus that blurs the background. It works super well. Take a look, the iPhone should definitely have this. So, do we have a winner? Well, here's what I think. I think that OnePlus has finally done it. For the most part, the new OnePlus 9 Pro is an outstanding camera, and while sometimes the iPhone looks better and still has an advantage in video, I think this time it's really close. I found the OnePlus 9 Pro to be a reliable camera phone that enters the big leagues and breaks the cliche that OnePlus cannot make phones with great cameras. So now that you've seen the photos, do you have a favorite? Let me know in the comments and subscribe to the channel. We have more OnePlus videos on the way. Thanks for watching. I'm Vic, this is PhoneArena, and I will talk to you in the next one.